Welcome to the Aro Benaiah Show, where we shine light on stories of entrepreneurs and leaders who has built their success with skill, grit, and vision. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with Emanuel Rose, an author, speaker, and digital marketer expert with over 25 years of experience helping business grow through authentic storytelling and innovative strategy. He's also deeply connected to nature and has written both business and children books, blending creativity and leadership with passion for authenticity. Emmanuel, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for asking me to be here. I appreciate that.
Emmanuel, what was it like growing up for you?
Well, I grew up in Central California in the United States, in small but growing town, and I had two parents at my house, and my dad worked in a factory, and my mom was a kindergarten teacher. So we had plenty of everything, but not always the nicest of everything.
Amazing. Before becoming a marketer, what was other jobs you actually did?
Yeah, I was a soccer referee for youth soccer, and one of my first jobs also worked for a pest control company, digging out underneath the houses so the inspectors could go and make inspections. And I worked at summer camps. I worked in restaurants, and every sort of job just to get by.
Amazing. How did they actually prepare you for entrepreneurship? And at what point did you see yourself as an entrepreneur?
I never really saw myself as an entrepreneur. That was never my goal. I saw an opportunity to start a small company that did clothing products and make a catalog and go to festivals and sell products that way.
What sparked the decision to step out on your own and eventually start our strategic e-marketing?
Well, I had two very bad experiences of being an employee in a row. One of which I built up a substantial amount of business for somebody else, and they owed me a very large commission for that and didn't pay me. And then immediately after that, the next job that I took, I got fired from it in about 45 or 60 days. And so I had those two bad experiences. I'm like, I don't want to work for people anymore. They don't seem to keep their promises. And so I was like, well, I know how to do marketing, so that's what I'm going to have to start doing. That was in 2010. That's when I started the business.
Wow, that was really amazing. You have actually emphasized authenticity in your work and writing. Why is authenticity so important in both business and personal growth?
I believe that we're incarnated here as a unique being, and so we need to be that unique being in all aspects of our life. That's the first thing. The second thing, that's what draws good situations to us, is if we're honest and tell us stories, and like we're doing here, explaining my origin story and philosophies, and it allows people to understand who I am and if they want to participate in other activities with me. Because
Wow, amazing. If you are going to give them a little strategy from the blueprint you have used over time to work with a whole lot of other businesses, so if you are giving them a strategy of what they could do different about what they are doing, what is it going to be like?
understand your customer, your current customer, and know what their wants, needs, desires, pains, and what those things are, and then understand how they educate themselves before they buy a product, and tell the story of your product and service in that way, to make it easy for them to interact with you and do business.
Wow, understanding your client and know your product so well. Thanks for that, Emmanuel. Okay, how do you actually see AI transforming marketing for small business and hands-on entrepreneur who have no big budget?
AI has been the most amazing tool that's been invented in my life. It allows us to automate tasks and activities that are mundane and not creative, so that it frees up time to do creative activities. It is important to get one LLM that you can get a paid account. For instance, Google Gemini or ChatGPT. Pay for that account and build custom GPT that is your ideal client. Build a custom GPT that is all your marketing messaging, a custom GPT of all your competitors, and a custom GPT of the aspirational products and services that you want to create, and then use those things as your advisors for how to approach the marketing in order to grow your business until you have enough cash flow to be able to get some help.
You have written about marketing to Gen Zs who want to reach younger clients or even recruit apprentices What is the key to connecting that generation?
At least in the United States, they want to see who the person is that is running the business. The same way that Kylie Jenner and Elon Musk have made their public persona very available by video and by activity on social media. So should small business owners be the face of their brand, tell the story of their favorite clients, their customers that they love, employee of the week, where they spend the time on the weekends when they're not working, so that Gen Z has the opportunity to connect it emotionally to the person who's running the business also.
Wow, this is really amazing. I just remember a particular statistic. A whole lot of face of business who has a personal account, let's say on Instagram, for instance, they have far more followers compared to the account that they have for their business. People want to connect with the face behind the brand, their lifestyle and everything they actually get to do outside of the business and things. In that way, build trust and authenticity. In your experience, what are some common mistakes small business owner or trade people make when trying to market things by themselves?
One is to not have their website up to date, that out of date materials, that they don't have anybody answering the phone for them. If I need a service provided, pest control, or I need new blinds for my house, or I need to build a garage, I want to call somebody and talk to somebody immediately. So those are a few of the things. And AI now can be your receptionist. So it's very straightforward to have an answering service all the time. Another
Yeah,
mistake that people make is they don't have success stories from their clients that love them. So we need
amazing. I run more like a cleaning business, and every now and then I post my videos on Instagram, including the feedback. So there was one product we actually want to get from our Instagram. It was on solar installation, and we check all through their social media. There was no review. There was no. It actually was like, in terms of trust, we're not that sure or what to believe or what to kind of. I'll reach out to them via their various page, and they were not that responsive. We even make reference of what is the payment plan. They were not responsive. And you just make reference of it, just shows some little things that might look little, but actually more like say stop a whole lot of sales from coming into being, owing to the fact that they didn't actually put those systems in place to actually update it. Either their website was not responsive. In fact, the price they have in their website was 4 5 years ago. It was not. So I think it's really key. You just actually make reference of it. So you talk a lot about storytelling. How can someone who paint houses, install wiring, or run cleaning service tell stories that resonate with their clients?
have to understand the hero's journey. And if you just you type that into Google, you'll get a framework of excitement, of falling down in the depths of despair. I think it'll never be any different. And then having help climbing up out of that depths of despair. And so if you tell your client stories about how how people lived without electricity, or they had an electrical problem and they never thought they were going to be able to turn the heater on again, and they were going to be cold all winter, and then they called the electrician. The electrician had a hard time finding the problem, but did find the problem and was able to solve it for them. And now they have lights and heat, and how great it is to work with somebody like that. That hero's journey is a very consistent psychological trigger,
Hmm.
and we all have those stories of clients that we've helped that we can use that framework for.
Wow, hero's journey. This is really amazing. I never thought of it from this particular end. I run a painting industry, and I find it difficult telling my stories. But you just actually more like make reference of this. I'm definitely going to kind of engage ChatGPT and actually more like use to actually more like craft some of those my ideas and actually polish it in a way that yeah, it's yeah, definitely I'm going to try it. Thank you so much, Malu. So your balanced career in digital marketing with creative writing and spending time with nature. How do this passion feed your work and leadership style?
It helps me to stay very patient. That's the first thing, and then know that everything has its own time, and those are the lessons from nature, right? The seasons are not measured in minutes; they're measured in months, and so you have to have that same philosophy with the people that are around you.
Wow, wow, amazing, amazing. Patience. I think patience is very, very key in building and in anything at all we actually even get to do. So, looking ahead, what do you think are the biggest opportunity for entrepreneur in both traditional trade and digital space?
And I think continuing to harvest the time back from using AI tools. So uh, we'll see more agents that can do the work for us that are autonomous in the next 2 years probably, and then voice AI again that we are able to leverage that to take phone calls, make appointments, and confirm appointments so that we don't have to do that or have somebody else do that.
Wow, wow, so true. Helping them to actually gain time. But from your own perspective and the fact that I work with a whole lot of clients, which will involve a whole lot of companies or a whole lot of company. Do you think AI is going to take away jobs, especially those hands-on jobs like trade people, carpentry, painters, and every others? Do you think AI is going to take their jobs soon?
No, can't happen. No. We need humans to do that work, and so being in the trades, being on hands-on activities, is got the longest lifespan of any human jobs right now, until the robots are able to be trained to do the work.
Yeah, so true, so true. Thank you so much for that feedback. I think the cutting edge for blue collar entrepreneurs who work with their hands is to, apart from the fact that even if AI is not going to take off their job, they could actually reduce the time of uh, reduce the time for them getting the particular result they get while working on this particular work. If they could actually apply AI and actually more like automate some particular stuff that waste time and actually get the basic stuff done while focusing on the main thing. I think I was talking with a guest the other day. I feel if they were able to do this particular stuff, it will actually increase their productivity and over time they will come to be trusted, being that they deliver on time and cut away most of this excess time that is not needed in doing those mundane jobs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's true, and especially like like you said, estimating. The visual learning that, for instance, Grok is able to do, and that's part of X. You can take a picture, and it can read the photo for you, and then you can build a small tool that would where you would put in your expenses against a job, and it would be able to build an estimate for you. So it speeds up that part of the process that tradespeople need to be able to make happen quickly.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for that. For more like tell us about your job and your e-marketing, how you actually work with clients, some of those procedure, so that for my clients who are actually interested in actually more like working with you, maybe just give us a little brief print of what your system is all about, so that they could glimpse from it, and later on they could actually reach out and actually more like sign up and do this with you.
Yeah, we work with a strategic planning process to be able to understand what the goals, objectives, and key performance indicators are. And usually it's around lead generation and ultimately making sales. And then we have to figure out how to tell the stories to each of the ideal client profiles, and then what they need to know about in order to make a decision. Um, B2B sales, it takes 10 to 15 pieces of information for somebody to decide to want to take a meeting and participate in the sales process. So we have to build lots of content and and put it out there in many different ways. So that's why this activity that we're engaged in on the podcast is very valuable, because we have clean, on brand, on message, and authentic content to start from, and it makes it much easier to create good marketing that moves people along through the sales process.
Yeah, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, over your course of more like working with clients and various other jobs, what has been the hardest part when it comes to marketing? Maybe from those experiences I work with our business owner, just share us your experience with some of those particular ones.
Sometimes there's business owners that think they know marketing better than I know marketing, and they want to tell us how to do our job. So that's probably the hardest part of working in marketing.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. I would have said you share your experience on how you were able to kind of convince them and actually more like still make deal with them, and what was those results and what was their feedback later on. But I don't know if it's
Yeah.
something you can still share.
Sometimes you have to fire clients and say it's not a match.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Ellen. So, for someone listening to us today who actually man like want to reach out to you, what platform, what website, and on social media too, what platform can they actually reach out to you
Yeah,
to
the
do
best
business?
one for me is LinkedIn and Emmanuel Rose with Emanuel Rose, and there's emmanuelrose.com or strategicemarketing.com.
Oh wow, amazing, amazing. So before we're done with the podcast, and what will be your final words to our entrepreneurs, our trade people, our hands-on entrepreneur who are just starting out in respect of marketing? What will be your final words to them?
I would say use ChatGPT like your business consultant and learn how to build custom GPTs.
Oh wow, learn how to build custom GPT. Wow, thank you so much, Emanuel. That's
Okay.
really been an amazing time. Emanuel, thank you for sharing your wisdom and insight with us today. From authenticity in marketing to balancing creativity and business, there is so much our listener can take away from for their own good. For those who want to learn more, you can find Emanuel's book and resources at emmanuelrose.com or on Amazon. And as always, thank you to our audience for turning up to the Aro Benaiah Show. Keep building, keep growing, and keep telling. Remember that your story matters. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Aro.